It's a living wonder of the world, but the Great Barrier Reef is at risk of being listed as in danger by UNESCO. Look under the water though, there is reason for hope.
Who'd have thought a hammer and nails would be essential tools in preserving the Great Barrier Reef?
There's high-tech solutions, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to elbow grease.
Ryan Connolly heads a team of researchers who are replanting the reef one fragment at a time.
We all know that things are changing, and no one's throwing their hands in the air and giving up.
There's no doubt the Great Barrier Reef is one of the wonders of the world, but now scientists believe global warming has put it at risk. In the last 20 years, increasing ocean temperatures have led to a number of episodes of coral bleaching. Now, while the bleaching doesn't necessarily kill the coral, researchers fear that if it keeps happening, it will overwhelm what is the largest reef on the planet.
We're not trying to build a reef, we're trying to assist in its recovery after disturbance.
To preserve them.
To preserve them, and we're buying time.
Ryan's team operate from Fitzroy Island, an hour's boat ride from Cairns in far north Queensland. Here, 3 metres below the water, they built Australia's first coral nursery, where pieces of live coral collected from the reef are hung on what look like TV antennas.
And there we'll leave it on there for about 3 to 4 months. And in that time, it regains its health, its vitality, and starts to get growth tips on it. And we'll plant them in clusters like that so that they grow together and they fuse, and then they grow as a single colony.
46 kilometres away on Hastings Reef, tour operator Passions of Paradise is doing the same thing, even enlisting eco-tourists to observe and keep records on the health of the reef.
People have been writing obituaries for the Great Barrier Reef for decades.
Russell Hosp is Passions of Paradise's environmental manager.
The Great Barrier Reef is a huge ecosystem. It's got a lot of advocacy. It's got a lot of people and organizations that are striving to maintain it and ensure its long-term sustainability. I think that as far as the future of the Great Barrier Reef, the story doesn't end with us.
The reef is really going well.
Glenn McDonald is CEO of Fitzroy Island Resort. He says the northern end of the reef off Cairns has bounced back from the last coral bleaching episode in that area 5 years ago.
It's very hard to blanket the whole Great Barrier Reef. It's 22,000 square kilometres.
The reef looks fantastic. The outer reef and also the inshore reef is looking absolutely amazing in this area.
Jenny Gilbert has a vested interest in the health of the reef.
Welcome to Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre.
A marine researcher, Jenny co-founded this centre on Fitzroy Island, which rehabilitates injured and sick turtles who call the reef home.
All animals rely on the reef and the condition of the reef, and it's looking fantastic out there.
So does it make you angry when you read reports suggesting that the reef is dying?
It's terrible, and I mean, we do educational tours, and we have people come in here and say, oh, I wasn't going to come out because, you know, the reef's dead and things like that, so I wasn't really interested. And I said, you know, it's not dead and it's never been dead.
And thanks to Jenny, turtles like Shelby, who was hit by a boat and lost a flipper, is alive and being treated with daily physio before she'll be returned to the wild. And this is physio.
She weighs a lot more than you. If she doesn't like it, she'll take off.
I can feel how heavy she is.
Mm.
Wow, and this is good for her. Gets
that joint working.
She's off. Jenny says she's released hundreds of turtles back into the wild, and her work relies on eco-tourists.
We get them from America, we get them from England, and they come out here to volunteer to look after the turtles, but then on their days off, they're out there on tourist boats and they're looking to see if there's any turtles in trouble out there as well.
People travel from across the globe to visit this place, and that makes the reef not only a natural wonder, but also a financial wonder. It said the reef sustains 64,000 jobs and brings in a whopping $6 billion in tourism dollars every year.
Tourism is paramount for the region. Primarily this region is built around tourism, but we, as custodians of the land, we need to make sure that we look after it.
Now UNESCO, the very body which declared the reef World Heritage listed, wants to declare it in danger, which our government fears will discourage tourists whose dollars help look after the reef.
I think that would be very unfair to call the whole Great Barrier Reef endangered. Absolutely unfair to say that when you're looking at such a huge footprint and you can't quantify the whole footprint as the same.
And do you see climate change or as global warming as the biggest threat to the reef?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. We're not on a good trajectory as far as emissions reduction goes globally today, but there's a lot of things going on around the world. I'm confident that we'll get there. I don't think I'm living in the land of false hope. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I do.
And this is proof what Ryan is doing is working. Last November, for the first time, coral Ryan's team planted is spawning, proving it can be done. Will this save the reef?
The idea is that we increase resilience. Resilience is that ability to get back up after you've been knocked down. And we need to put the reef in the best place it can be to adapt to a warming environment.